I am Laszlo Gal. My MLM story started in the same way as most other people's. I wanted an opportunity, and MLM became a tool to achieve it. I first learned about MLM in 1991, when a young man contacted me who I hadn't met before. He called me, he got my number through a mutual acquaintance, and said that he had heard that I was a good businessman and he would like to introduce me to a new business opportunity.